Oh, hey, I haven't been here in a while. I guess it's been since, well, the week of March 16th. That's when we concluded that we needed to get our staff out of the building and safely working from home. And that's where we've been mostly for the past 3 months as we, well, you don't need me to tell you that we're living through some weird times right now. But I do want to tell you that I'm really proud of the way we've been able to keep the ship sailing, mostly on course, for these past 3.5 months. The staff has really risen to the occasion, and I'm proud of them. We've also tried to be a source of good news. Lord knows there's plenty of bad news out there, everywhere you look. But on our YouTube channel, Facebook, other social media outlets, the ENF blog, and our website, we've tried to tell good stories. Stories that can ignite beacons of hope and inspiration to help guide us all through this storm. And I truly hope that we've achieved some measure of success. Regardless, I want to thank you all for sticking with us and for joining us tonight as we kick off our ENFtoYou summer series. Now, I got to go get ready for the show, so I'm going to kick it over to a few friends. But before I go, can you guys let me know in the comments below, does this mask make my ears look big? All right, enjoy the show. I'll see you in a bit.
Thank you, Elks, for being such an amazing foundation and giving incredible opportunities to under-resourced students like me. And welcome to ENFtoYou.
Hey Elks family, it's Sarah Harper. I would like to say thank you to the Elks and the ENF for this incredible scholarship and this incredible opportunity. Welcome to ENFtoYou.
Now we're recording, and Kathleen will count us in.
Welcome to ENFtoYou. You guys suck.
That was literally the worst thing I've ever heard.
So, I'm sorry.
One more time, and I think we're gonna nail it. This is the one, all right?
Okay.
You guys ready? Welcome to
ENFtoYou.
Hey everybody, welcome to ENFtoYou. I am Jim, this is Debbie. We are the stars of the Midday Minute YouTube show, but tonight we're hosting the kickoff for ENFtoYou. Debbie, it is great to see you in normal resolution.
It is great to see you as well.
Right, this is the first time we've been together since March 16th,
Yes,
I think. We've been
more than
obviously
100 days.
Yeah, we've been connecting via Zoom, but man, Debbie, I'm going to be honest. Your quarantine beard is pretty weak sauce.
There we go. Yours looks really good. But if you dare comment on my gray hair, I will leave this set.
All right, the lines have been drawn. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about what ENFtoYou is all about. And what happens at convention is important for a lot of reasons. It's important to us because it provides opportunities for us to connect with and engage with our constituents. There are educational opportunities that are important to us. It's a chance to recognize important donors.
Right. It's like a reunion for us.
It's a reunion. We
It's a
see
reunion.
old friends, people we only see once a year at convention. And it's an opportunity to tell our story to a big audience. So it's really important to us, and it was a blow when, of course, the necessary decision to cancel the Baltimore convention was made. But we want to bring some of the programming to you in your homes where you can watch safely. And that's what we're going to be doing over the course of the next, 2 months or so, right?
Through August.
Right. So we want to thank you for tuning in. We plan to put on a really good show for you. We talked about sort of delivering exactly what we would have done at Sunday's opening ceremonies virtually, but I think given speeches in this medium, it's really awkward to talk to a camera without the ability to read the room and to respond to the audience reactions.
Right.
So we're going to stick with instead sort of the interview format that's been working really well for us on the Midday Minute for the past few months. Mm-hmm. And we're going to share a couple of interviews with our top 2 most valuable students. So rather than giving the speeches, they're just going to be chatting with us, answering our questions. And we've also prepared 2 intro videos for each of them, as we would have done in Baltimore, but a little bit different this time. instead of sending a crew into their homes, we asked them to record it themselves as what we called a "This Is Me" video.
Right. Just kind of from their point of view, who they are in their own environment, right? We're all spending so much time during these unprecedented times in our own environment that we wanted to see what they had to say about themselves.
So yeah, these videos are going to show you our 2 top most valuable students in their natural habitat, and we're going to start with our top female winner.
Right. We're going to start with Sarah Harper, and this is her. This is me.
So let's watch.
Hello Elks family, my name is Sarah Harper and I'm your 2020 Female Most Valuable Student. I'm from a small town called Loudon, Tennessee. It's just south of Knoxville in East Tennessee. Down here I live on a horse farm where I've lived my entire life, and I've been super involved in riding and showing horses and also the local agriculture community. My family's roots really run deep in Loudon, and this town is very important to me. In high school I was heavily involved. I was in concert band and marching band. I played with the Tennessee Wind Symphony. I was a cadet in my school's NJROTC program, and I was also involved in 4-H. Also in high school, I was in several community service organizations, such as the National Honor Society and Key Club International. And also I did a lot of veteran-oriented service with the NJROTC unit. In the fall, I'll be attending the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, which is basically in my hometown. I'm in the Chancellor's Honors Program, and I will be majoring in industrial engineering with a minor in political science. Currently, I'm looking at the 5-year bachelor's to master's program, which will enable me to have my master's degree after only 5 years instead of 6. And I can do that thanks to the Elks scholarship. I'm very thankful for the Elks and all they've done for me and many other students like me. I actually applied to the Most Valuable Student Scholarship on a whim. My ROTC instructor actually mentioned it to me, and I had no clue that I would place, and I definitely didn't expect to win $50,000. It was a really unexpected blessing in my life, but it's just going to do so much for me, and I'm very honored to win it. I'm able to confidently look forward to a successful future with no student loans, or very few, hopefully. And it will just help me pursue my dream career and get all the education I can. With the Elks, I can't wait for in-person activities and service opportunities post-COVID. I would like to thank the ENF and the Elks again. I'm proud to be Elks family. Bye guys.
Debbie, we are not alone.
No, we're not, Jim. We've been joined by Sarah Harper. She is our top most valuable student female winner, and she is from sponsored by the Athens, Tennessee Lodge 1927. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
Last time I saw you, we were playing Mafia at the Elks family game night at the virtual leadership weekend, right? And I got to tell you, Debbie, we were both on the same team. We were both Mafia, but Sarah was the Don, clearly, of our team.
Oh, yeah?
Which is why she won our top scholarship.
That's right.
No, just kidding about that. But lots happened since then. You've become our $50,000 scholarship winner, and you are heading to the University of Tennessee, go Vols, where you'll be studying what? Industrial engineering and poli-sci? Tell us why you chose that major and minor.
Well, I chose my major because, first of all, my grandfather was a tool and die maker, and then my father was a manufacturing engineer, quality engineer. He did a lot of different types of engineering. So it kind of ran in my family. And I said this in a previous interview, but actually I was in maybe elementary school, and I went into one of the factories my dad worked in, and I saw these massive machines that were responsible for building machines. And I just thought that was the coolest thing when I was in maybe, I don't know, 2nd grade. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And it's just been stuck in the back of my mind since then. So when it came time to really make a decision, I was like, yes, it is definitely industrial engineering.
I wish I had that clarity of purpose.
Absolutely.
I still don't know what I want to do.
Especially from such an early age.
Right. That's really cool. So one thing that's stuck out at me when I was looking at your application is you were very active and still are active with the junior ROTC in high school, right? Like, how did you get involved with that? What did you learn? Will it continue in college?
Well, I won't be able to continue it in college, unfortunately, because college ROTC means you have to commission into the military at the end of your contract, and I'm unable to do that due to some health concerns. But I think I will continue volunteering with my high school ROTC, maybe come back and volunteer, because there's many different teams and things that I can come back and help teach. Like we have a competitive drill team, marksmanship team, things like that. And I would love to come back and teach kind of the next generation of cadets. I actually got involved with the program because on our little schedule forms we were given in 8th grade, there was the option, do you want to take ROTC or wellness? Because it waived a wellness credit. And I was like, I don't know about this, but ROTC kind of seems cool. I had some older friends that were in it. And I just circled the ROTC, and I did not know what I was getting myself into, and I didn't know how big a part of my life it would become.
One thing you didn't bargain for was how much you were going to learn about leadership through your participation, right?
Right. I really had no clue. I came in, and when you're a freshman in ROTC, you have to, or your first year, you can join anytime. You kind of have to go in with an open mind. You have to look around, and you have to understand that there are kids older than you, kids younger than you, and they all may know more than you. And you have to really understand that the true purpose of leadership is not uniting this group of people to do one goal. Yes, that's traditional leadership, but you also have to kind of learn to know your cadets. That's like a quote from one of our textbooks, know your cadets, know your subordinates, know your superiors, and learn what makes them tick so that you can help them be better people while accomplishing the mission.
What was your first leadership role with the ROTC?
Basically, I was put in second semester my freshman year to be the official assistant to a junior, I believe he was, who was our administrative officer. And that job entailed a lot of paperwork. You see the ROTC kids and they've got, stacks of ribbons this tall. There's a lot of work that goes into those ribbons. It works just like the actual military. To get a ribbon, you have to file like paperwork. You have to go through, you have to count like why you deserve that ribbon. So I would go through and, look at the community service hours, keep everything organized, and basically help my boss do his job. And then the following year, I became the actual administrative officer, and it was very fun.
Speaking of the scholarship, I heard you were with your horse when you learned that you were our top winner. Can you tell that story?
Yes. So I was tacking up my horse, getting ready to ride, and for some reason, I always keep my phone on silent. So it was on the railing beside me, lots of ambient noise, had no clue, couldn't hear it vibrating. So I get her all tacked up, we're ready to go. And I said, okay, I'm going to check my phone, do a little time check, because I'm probably not going to be on my phone for a while. Well, missed call from a Chicago number. And I said, oh, that's probably my call telling me I'm one of like the 16 or so, fourth place winners. So, I call Miss Colleen back. And she says, hey, I have some very important news for you. And I was like, yes, fourth place. I know it. And she was like, you're one of our top winners. And I don't even remember what I said. I was standing there. I was like, and I ran inside. I had to tell my parents, once I got off the phone with her, made several other calls. My poor horse was standing out there. I'm sure she was feeling very neglected. She was standing in the shade though, but and eventually I got on her about 2 hours later.
Oh, wow. That's a fantastic story.
So you were active with 4-H and you did a horse project. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Horses are obviously important to you.
Yes. So within the 4-H horse project, there's like different things you can do. So you can obviously show your horse at 4-H horse shows. I did a little bit of that. But I was more so into the 2 or 3 knowledge departments of the horse project. So there's Horse Bowl, which is like Jeopardy quiz bowl, but anything in relation to horses.
And the answer is always, nay.
And it's what it is it's really equine science. Like there's a lot of veterinary science, like the names of the bones and different vaccines and diseases and symptoms, along with like the riding component, like what is it called when you do this? There's just so much knowledge on horses. We have books this big, and So there's that, and then there's hippology, which is a written test, just a written exam. So basically I take tests for fun. And I actually won at the state level in that, and I've been working at it since 4th grade. So I was super proud of that. And then there's also horse judging, where you basically pretend that you're a horse show judge, and you look and evaluate the horses based on the criteria for the class. And it teaches you a lot of decision skills, a lot of speaking skills. It's a very good program. There's so much to do in 4-H.
So I know band has also been very important to you, and you're a drum major, right? When did you decide you wanted to do that?
So in 5th grade, we were given the option. We were signing up for our middle school classes, and there were different clubs to join. And one of them was band. And I was kind of on the fence about it. A lot of my family members had been in band, in the same band at the high school. My stepmother was like, you should really do band. I was like, I don't know, like, what if I don't like it? So I started looking up band videos. And one of the first things that came up was Drum Corps International. And actually there was a Phantom Regiment, that's one of the teams, Phantom Regiment drum major. And there's a classic move, they pull the baton out of the collar of their uniform. And I saw that woman do that. And I said, that is the coolest thing. I want to do that one day. I don't care what I have to do to get there. I'm joining band so I can do that.
Nice.
Debbie, if you were an instrument, what kind of instrument would you be?
Oh, probably the piano.
Really? For me, it'd be a violin.
A violin?
Violin, because it's classic and hauntingly beautiful.
Just like you.
That's right. So we aren't the only organization who recognized your talent. The Trio Talent Search, what's that all about?
It's a really great federal program, actually. Several states and areas have one. And what the Trio Talent Search is for is it's recognizing students generally from lower income that really want to go to college. And one of the things we did is every year we went to at least one, sometimes two, sometimes three or more colleges. I joined in 6th grade. So every year since then, and we get to tour all the colleges around us, and it's just a really great opportunity for kids to get out and realize their potential and see these opportunities in front of them.
Nice.
So let's turn our attention to back to the Elks Scholarship and our virtual leadership weekend. And what were your takeaways from that experience?
Besides, Jim's not good at Mafia.
I was not as good as Sarah at Mafia. Yeah.
One of my main takeaways was just really learning about the diversity of kids like myself across the country, learning, like meeting the other 19 scholars and like learning about them, learning about the programs that they were involved in. Like there's like DECA Club, my school doesn't have that. There's debate clubs, my school doesn't have that. So like learning about their experiences, learning about what they've done outside of school. I know there's at least one or two that had started their own organizations. That's just simply incredible. And I just love to learn about them and see, maybe draw from their experiences and see, hey, maybe I should try debate like in college. You know, they had so much fun doing it. I didn't have that opportunity. Let's see what I can do. And it's also funny to see how similar we all are, even though most of us, there's not one or two that's maybe from the same state, you know, all across the country. And we're having similar thoughts, we're having similar beliefs. It's just incredibly cool.
We were certainly heartbroken when we had to make the decision not to host the actual leadership weekend in Chicago, but the virtual leadership weekend I think turned out wonderfully, and the resilience of you, the 20 of you, has been really an inspiration to us.
Yeah. So, and you talked about opportunity, and that's one of the difficult things about scholarship selection is how do you account for the varied opportunities? Just an interesting aside. You talked in the 20 for 20 interview, which will air later in the summer, and I would encourage everybody to watch. You talked a little bit about how you can extend your reach and impact through service. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yes, definitely. If I had to say one thing, it would be don't limit your service to just one organization. See what you can do to make the greatest world of difference around you. And, you know, getting out and serving is great, but maybe if you start a community garden, maybe that community garden doesn't stop there. Maybe that community garden turns into a food bank. Maybe that food bank turns into a homeless shelter. things like that. You kind of have to look and see, what else can I do? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Distribute them all the way around.
Those are words to live by.
Right. So one of my last questions, you describe yourself as a survivor. What makes you a survivor?
Yes. So when I was younger, preschool, kindergarten age, my mother had a history of mental illness that started a few years before I was born. And I believe that was probably made worse on her part by untreated postpartum depression. And another aside, that really gives me a lot of perspective on mental illness, and how it can go untreated in our country. But she did several things that obviously she wasn't in her right mind to do, like holding me out of school. We lived in hotels because the paranoia was so intense. She thought people were chasing us, just things like that. And I didn't realize what I lived through until, maybe a few years ago. I didn't realize the impact that it would have on me or others in my situation, living in hotels, going by fake names, things like that. I didn't realize that was such a big deal. And I didn't realize that I should identify myself as a survivor until much later. And since then, I've also had to realize that I can't put the blame on her. I have to put the blame on the system. And there has to be a change, especially in mental health, because there are people, she was a school teacher. She was the homecoming queen of her class. She was beloved by everyone. And suddenly something switched in her head. And she was never able to get the treatment she needs. And to this day, I don't know where she is. And that is just something that we have to look for as a society. We can't sweep that under the rug anymore.
You are a survivor for sure.
Thank you.
So I guess we'd like to just wrap up by giving you an opportunity to speak directly to our audience of Elks and say what you'd like to say to them.
Yes, so to the Elks, to all of you individuals, thank you so much for making this opportunity possible. This scholarship is going to ensure that I don't have any student loans, which is something that I don't think I could financially recover from, especially considering my family income. It's just such a wonderful program, and I wish there were 10 more like it, and unfortunately there's not. But thank you for donations, for service, for giving us service opportunities as Elk Scholars. It's just truly incredible what you guys do. So thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing.
Sarah, we look forward to following your career, and we know you're going to do great things, and we are so proud that you are our top most valuable student.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Sarah was great, wasn't she?
She was really amazing, and it is no wonder she is our top female winner.
Yeah, congratulations again, Sarah. Hey, Debbie, we've reached the part of the show where we get to announce a cool prize for one of our viewers.
I know. Tell everybody about it.
You now have an opportunity to win a $1,000 donation to the charity of your choice, within reason, and some cool ENF swag, a shirt. And we'll work out the details with you. All you have to do is comment on the YouTube show below, and you have to do this on Sunday night because we're picking our winner randomly on Monday, with the hashtag. Hang on a second. We haven't discussed this.
No, we haven't. Actually,
why don't we do it this way? Let's see if we're on the same page. This is the first time we've been in person in 3 months. Let's see if we're back on the same page. You ready?
All right.
Count it down on 3, 2, 1, go.
All
You
right.
ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Elks always care. Come on.
Elks
always care is what we've been using since we haven't seen each other in more than 100 days.
It's kind of
and
tired.
it's not
I mean,
tired.
they do always care,
feel-good
but it just
stories
feels-
about what our members do out in their communities.
Well, I get 3 letters for you, Debbie. A, B, M. Always be marketing. We're trying to push the Hamper Hoop Shoe right now. I think we should stress that. We should encourage people to be using that hashtag and getting their videos online of the hoop shoe. We got to make it go viral. Hashtag Hamper Hoop Shoe, right? Well, let's do this.
That's true. I mean, that's a good point.
All right, let's rest our case.
All right.
Let's do it again.
All right.
Count it down. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hamper
Elks always
Hoop
care. Tell you what.
You convinced me.
And you convinced me.
boy.
Why don't we split the difference, and this is official.
All right. And count it down again?
Yes.
All right.
You ready? Let's see which wins.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. ENF to you. All right, comment below and we'll be in touch. We'll pick a winner, we will be in touch and we'll work out the details. Good luck. But now, let's meet our top male most valuable student.
Yes, let's meet Santiago Alvilar. This is his, this is me.
Hi, my name is Santiago Alvilar. I come from a city in the outskirts of East Los Angeles, California, and an under-resourced, underrepresented community called El Monte. I'm a first-generation student in America. In fact, my brothers and I are the first in our entire lineage to receive a formal education. We come from a rural village in southern Mexico called Jolalpan, Puebla, and as a family we hold close ties to our indigenous culture and traditions. Like many immigrants, my parents arrived in the U.S. in 1989 to provide a better future for our coming generations. And like many immigrant families, we struggle to establish a stable foundation for our lives and find our place in a completely new environment. In 2002, I was born in a crowded apartment with my extended family of cousins, uncles, aunts, and family friends. Simultaneously, my dad began and opened our family restaurant, which lasted until the 2008 recession, when we were forced to sell and file for bankruptcy. Our family of 5 was homeless until we found a single bedroom in a family friend's house. And for 2 years, my brothers and parents shared a single mattress, a single room, and the same struggles that came with living in poverty. At the same time, I was raised by my dad's alcoholism, gambling fixation, nicotine addiction, and cocaine dependence. I was surrounded by emotional and physical abuse. I was and continue to be scarred with trauma. Yet my family could do nothing. My parents' undocumented status made it impossible to seek help without destroying my family's future. All of these factors have created a perfect storm to cultivate and nurture a horrible student, and at the beginning it was just that. Unsurprisingly, I had terrible citizenship marks, constant parent-teacher conferences, and continuous visits to the administration offices. In 3rd grade, however, I was one of 3 kids from my district to be recognized as a gifted student. I was separated from my class to foster my academic capabilities, and through elementary school, I developed an immense passion for STEM classes. School became my coping mechanism, a way to escape the harsh realities of my life, and a strategy to daydream of other lives, other situations where I didn't have to suffer through the cruelties of my own living. Today, my family continues to be in poverty. At the moment, my parents and I share our 2-bedroom house with another family in order to afford living. I have no room and no bed. I sleep on the living room floor. I continue to struggle with high-functioning depression and intrusive and suicidal tendencies. Yet in spite of all of this, I've managed to graduate high school as valedictorian and complete all the math requisites for an engineering degree. This year, I applied and received admission to MIT, Harvard, and Stanford. I plan to pursue an engineering physics undergraduate degree, specializing in energy alternatives, and completing my PhD in environmental engineering to ultimately help create a healthier and cleaner Earth. To the Elks National Foundation, I would like for you to know that the award I received tremendously helped the affordability in attending Stanford, and it relieved any sort of financial stress that comes with attending such an elite institution. In the long run, I hope you can recognize that this award acts as a representation of being able to conquer terrifying circumstances to my younger family members, to the students in similar situations, and to anyone who thinks goals become impossible if faced with extraneous circumstances. Thank you.
That was powerful.
It really was. It really gives you an insight to who he is.
That's right. So our Elks scholars don't get to be Elks scholars by sitting on their hands, and Santiago is no exception.
Right.
By the time we got our act together for this show, he had already been booked by another organization that was awarding him a scholarship. So we won't be sitting down with him for an interview, but fortunately he recently sat down for an interview as part of our 20 for 20 series, and that show will air later in the summer.
Right.
But we're going to share that with you now. Why don't we tell people what 20 for 20 is, though?
Well, 20 for 20 was the way we are addressing the fact that we weren't able to be together for the leadership weekend this year, where we would film all of the finalists. So instead, we're doing Zoom meetings.
Exactly.
Which, we're doing exactly what everybody is doing right now. So we're sitting down over Zoom, a few different staff members,
right.
divvied up.
Yeah, instead of us, it's 3 other members of our staff. Kathleen Draper, who you'll see in this video, Christine Robinson, and John Kavula, our Elks Scholar Fellow,
right,
are sort of tag teaming the interviews, right?
That's right. So I think that there are 2 or 3 already that have been posted. We're posting them to our YouTube channel every Monday.
Every Monday, yeah, check them out. They're really great, and you get to see so many different facets of our scholars that don't necessarily come through in the stories we write about them. or even in their speeches. I think it's a more complete picture.
Right.
And I know you're going to love them. I've loved them so far. You will too. Check them out.
Great.
It's a great series. But let's watch Kathleen interviewing Santiago.
Enjoy.
Hi there, welcome to 20 for 20. My name is Kathleen Draper with the Elks National Foundation. Today I'm joined by Santiago Alvear, a 2020 Top 20 Most Valuable Student Scholar sponsored by Montebello, California, Lodge number 2051. Santiago was the top winner and he received $50,000 to attend Stanford University this fall. Thank you so much for joining us today, Santiago.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, and first we'll just have you kind of introduce yourself and tell us where you're from.
Yeah, okay. So, hi you guys. My name is Santiago Alvear. I'm from East LA, California, in the outskirts of East LA, so in like a city called El Monte. Yeah.
And congratulations on winning the top award again.
Thank
Very
you.
exciting. And where are you planning on going to school and what will you study?
I'm planning to enroll at Stanford University next year, class of 2024, majoring in engineering physics and specializing in energy alternatives.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And how did you choose that field of study?
I mean, I have no idea. But basically, I mean, I'm honestly like a huge STEM nerd. And I knew that I wanted to do some sort of engineering, but I also really liked physics and math at the same time. Engineering physics is sort of a combination of all of that, and it sort of like, it's an interdisciplinary major, so you get a little bit of everything, and I love that part, so yeah.
That's awesome. And what do you want to do with that in the long run?
I mean, in the long run, I'd like to attend some graduate programs, become an environmental engineer. That's why I'm focusing on energy alternatives, sort of like promote sustainable methods throughout our city and community and world. Yeah.
That's really cool. And obviously part of being an Elks Scholar is being really dedicated to service. So could you tell us what service means to you?
Service, I guess for me, is giving back to the community that sort of cultivated you, and like creating this environment that sort of supports other students like us who are sort of underrepresented and under-resourced. Yeah.
And so as our top scholar, you are obviously extremely accomplished. But what would you say is your proudest accomplishment?
Graduating from high school. My parents, I guess, my brothers and I are the first people in our entire lineage to receive a formal education. Wow. So jumping from like no school at all to like Stanford University is like a really awesome thing to have. My dad doesn't know, like my dad is like illiterate, I guess, so he doesn't know how to read or write, and my mom went to school up to 6th grade, so like none of us had really the sort of information we needed to get like to even graduate high school, and now I'm sort of like right here, and it's an amazing thing to do, to have.
That is a huge achievement, and that's really exciting, and to be able to go on to Stanford is just amazing, so I'm really excited for you with that. And what is being an Elks Scholar going to help you do?
I guess for like attending Stanford is like obviously one of the biggest goals that I had. Because of the Elks scholarship, I'm sort of feel more comfortable attending the university without sort of taking loans away or having the sort of like pressure of having a economic sort of foundation. A lot of times students go into Stanford and like a lot of them are rich and stuff like that. And I would have, by attending Stanford over like a sort of local state college, I would have had the worry of like worrying about what type of, I mean, a lot of the trivial things in life at like college, maybe like saving up money and stuff like that for my next textbook. But like because of the Elks scholarship, I sort of like that worry is away, it like vanished. So I guess now that I don't have to focus on that area, I could just focus on like my academic studies and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's a huge weight off your shoulders. So that's really exciting that you'll be able to kind of focus solely on academics and achieve even more than you already have. What was your favorite part of the virtual Top 20 Leadership Weekend?
I really liked getting to know everyone. It would have obviously been better if it was in person, but like current circumstances make that impossible. But like knowing that other people have been going through the same struggles and like have the same ambitions to change the world and to create sort of like uphold community service. That was really an amazing thing to witness, and like the sort of our interactions that we had with one another, that was like wonderful.
Yeah, this was my first leadership weekend with the ENF because I started with the foundation back in August, and I was so excited. So I was, of course, devastated with COVID and having to go virtual with that. But hands down, it was the best part of my quarantine to be able to meet all of you and hear your stories. And you guys just give so much hope to everyone. And it's just amazing. It was really fun for me as a staff member to be a part of it. So I can't even imagine how great it was for scholars. And what were you doing when you found out that you were actually part of the top 20?
It's hard to remember, but I think I was probably laying in bed, sort of sleeping. Yeah. After we went to quarantine, sort of like, it was an unfortunate thing to have for my senior year, but this sort of relief of attending the classes and stuff like that and making it like transition into like my own pace of like learning and stuff like that, that sort of was an oof. So at the beginning of quarantine, I would sort of like sleep at the beginning, like in the early day. And then like in the evening, I would just like get to work and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and we played your phone call when Colleen called you to let you know you were a top winner. So what were you doing when you received that phone call, and what was that like to when Colleen called you?
I think I was in like right here in my parents' garage. I think I just got out of like my mathematics lecture for a dual enrollment at a college.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like so drained because like even though math is one of my favorite subjects, it's just like really draining to the point where like I guess it's differential equations for engineers, so it's sort of like advanced for other people. And so like it's hard for me. But I remember like getting a call from an unknown number, and I knew that I had to like sort of like I wasn't sure what was happening, but when I heard the like sort of the I guess the announcement to say that this was going to be recorded, I was like, oh, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I'm pretty sure this is good news. But yeah, afterwards, I mean, when I left my garage and like I hung up the phone, I was like jumping up and down, and I was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
That is so exciting. I don't even know what I would do if I got news like that. That's really amazing. And you know, probably gave you a little bit of positive energy after a draining math class too. So,
Yeah.
And what makes you an Elks scholar?
I mean, I guess for a lot of us, there's sort of like single quality that sort of puts us all together, and it's the quality of like making sure to give back to our community and to like sort of taking advantage of the resources that are given to us, but at the same time giving back whenever we can, even as like students or like high school seniors that sort of like haven't realized the extent of what the world is, but we do know that like giving back is one of our biggest priorities, and especially to like underserved and under-resourced communities and stuff like that. So like having that idea and mentality at such a young age, that's sort of like an awesome thing to have, especially that I've noticed within the Elks Scholars community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very service-minded community, and especially with the service trips, there are so many opportunities to get involved as an Elks scholar too. And obviously service is something you're really passionate about, but what is something that you might be passionate about outside of academics and service?
Yeah, so my family is sort of indigenous. So we come from southern Mexico. We have a deep appreciation for like herbs and native plants and stuff like that. So I've always been a huge botany guy. So like I read and study plants. I have a little book called Around the World in 90 Trees or something like that, which basically explains each tree in each area of the world. That's amazing. So yeah, I guess the biggest passion is like gardening and stuff like that. Herbs and like native plants to southern Mexico. So we sort of like, we don't import it because I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but we sort of like, we just like cultivate some herbs that we use for like to eat for ourselves. So it's like, I guess we have like a small nursery in our backyard. Yeah, so that's cool.
That is really cool. I have a few plants here, but I'm not on the same level as you. But that's really cool that you're really passionate about that. And it sounds like you have a nice yard space where you can be outside and be outside with the plants and trees and your garden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bet in California it's probably really nice all year round to be able to do
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like
The warm
Chicago.
weather.
So you kind of skip all that winter phase that we get here.
It kind of helps.
Yeah. If you could say anything to the Elks, what would you say?
First and foremost, thank you. It's like at surface level, you're helping a single student attend such an elite university. But if you really dig into it, it's sort of a representation. You're helping me sort of make strides within my family and future generations that really are indescribable. You've helped me create a sort of, for the Elks National Foundation, you've helped me create a sort of ripple effect, and I'm sure it's going to have a positive impact, not only in my family, but within my community. And I'm extremely thankful for that.
Very well said. Well, thank you so much, Santiago. Thanks to all of our viewers for tuning in. If you liked the show, hit the like button below and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for helping us build stronger communities and connecting with the hashtag Elks family. See you next time.
So that was another really great interview, and I know it was different than what we would have presented in Baltimore, but hey, a lot of you would not have been in Baltimore, and so you had the opportunity to watch this, which is pretty cool too, a silver lining, I guess.
Right, we have to look for those silver linings these days.
Now, if we were in Baltimore at the opening ceremony, we would also be talking about the Hoop Shoot program, but hey, perhaps you heard, the season was cut short thanks to the coronavirus.
Thanks, coronavirus.
And that really stinks for a lot of people.
Oh,
it stinks for the competitors who were on the road to Chicago for the national finals, went as far as they could go, and they weren't defeated by another competitor at the free throw line. They were defeated by this pandemic,
That's right?
It stinks for them. It stinks for their families. It stinks for our volunteers. They're so passionate about the program and put so much work and time into the program. And it stinks for our staff too, because we also spent a lot of time planning those national finals. And it was really crushing to have to end the season.
Absolutely. I mean, it was in the beginning too of all of this happening, right? So it was one of the first things that we had to do was say, we're pulling the hoop shoot. We can't do the hoop shoot finals, which was huge. So we ended up having, we have 198 state winners who went as far as they could go. They didn't get to go to their regional contests. And then we have 24 regional winners who went as far as they could go because we didn't have the national finals. So we're trying to do something fun for them and celebrate their success because they went as far down the road as they could on their journey to the finals.
So we have a few cool things planned for them, including some messages that we're going to share from some very special people. And we're going to show you one of those messages now. It is from former Duke Blue Devils star and NBA star and Hall of Famer Grant Hill. And here's what he has to say to those hoop shooters. Let's watch.
Hi, I'm Grant Hill, and of course I heard about your shortened season, and I'm so very sorry that your journey to the 2020 National Finals was cut short. Of course, even though this must have been devastating to all of you, you made it to the highest level of the competition you could, so you guys are all champions. Of course, we face challenges and adversity in sport and in life. I know personally for me, I missed a good portion of 4 seasons during my NBA career. It was a difficult time, but it definitely toughened me, it hardened me, and it made me a better person in the long run. So of course, as hoop shooters, you're made of the tough stuff. The hoop shoot teaches you to bounce back after losses and push through all types of challenges. Of course, each and every one of you, you've shown grit, you've shown toughness, you've shown perseverance, and you'll come out of this situation stronger and better than ever. I want to encourage each and every one of you to stay safe, be healthy, and maybe one day I'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
So that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Grant Hill is a pretty big deal. And thank you to our friends at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame who helped us secure that video, and hopefully a few more are coming along as well.
Yeah, so watch for those. It's really, really neat. And that's going to be pretty special for those kids. We're also trying to do some things to keep the hoop shoot on people's minds. Right now we're sort of in that slow summer period anyway, but since we're cooped up at home, it's not easy to find a gym to practice. We're encouraging people to participate in, Debbie?
The hashtag Hamper Hoop Shoot.
That's right, the Hamper Hoop Shoot. And it's just a fun thing. There's actually going to be a prize. Our backboard is going to be judging the videos that come in, and they're going to select a winner to win some ENF swag. But it's intended to be a fun thing to get that hashtag out there, get the people thinking about and talking about the hoop shoot. And all you have to do is shoot a video of you taking a shot at something around the home. It can be a hamper, it can be a garbage can, it can be a laundry basket, whatever. And it doesn't matter what you're shooting.
Whatever you can shoot into.
Either. It's supposed to be fun. And the O'Kelley family submitted our entry recently, and I also made this very amateur making of video for that effort. I'd like to share it with you guys now. Let's watch.
Enjoy.
Go. You ready? It's a little harder to find a gym these days, but that's no reason to stop practicing. It's harder to find a gym these days, but we have to keep practicing. It's not easy to find a gym these days, but we have to keep working. Oh. These days.
No, start over. Come on, go.
It's hard to find a gym these.
Go.
It's hard to find a gym these days, but that's no reason to stop practicing. Hamper hoop shoot. It's hard to find a gym these days, but that's no reason to stop practicing.
Go.
It's hard to find a gym these days, but that's no reason to stop practicing. Hamper. All right, hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm not sure anybody can follow Grant Hill, but if anybody can pull it off, it's me and my son, Patrick.
That's right. Somewhere you'll have to let people know, maybe you could write a blog post about it, how long it took you to make all those shots.
Well, I still have not made one of those shots. So, hey, that brings us just about to the end of the show, but we want to give you an idea of what's coming down the pike. As we said at the top, we're going to be doing this sort of thing throughout the summer, approximately every 2 weeks. Next up is what?
Next up is July 12th. We're going to have ENFtoYou Get Social. So it's going to be all about social media. Our comms department is going to be hosting it, and it's going to give helpful tips on how to get the word out there about what you're doing.
So this was going to be a workshop that we were pretty excited about staging in Baltimore. But again, it's important, and we know people are looking. A lot of people are new to social media, and are wondering how best to use it. And we're going to help answer those questions. So we encourage you to tune into that. On July 26th, Debbie and I, we're going to sit down with our board chairman, Jim Grillo, and we're going to talk all about the SIP.
That's right.
Specifically, we're going to be talking about what's phase 3 for the SIP. So we'll be talking about what's going to happen with Beacon grants, Impact grants, and Promise grants. So you're not going to want to miss that one.
Right.
Right?
Big one.
And then also on August 9th, we will sit down again. With Jim Grillo, our chair, who's also the chair of the Hoop Shoot Advisory Committee, and we are going to be prepared then to announce what the path forward looks like for the Hoop Shoot program. So we were going to be addressing the suspended or possibly canceled season from 2020, and also what's going to happen in 2021. So we'll be making that announcement on August 9th.
Right. We have a couple game plans we're considering, and so we're going to be ready to say how we're moving forward.
Right, and then in between, there's going to be other fun things that we're doing. And again, that's just We want to thank you for tuning in, for joining us, for sticking with us through all of this. It really, really means the world to us that you've stuck by our side through this pandemic.
Yeah, we know it's been hard on everybody. And as I like to say, we'll get through this together.
We sure will.
I'm not the only one saying that, turns out.
So, hey, we'll see you next time, and thanks again for tuning in.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.